Podcast, your morning pitching podcast from pitcherlist.com. My name is Nick Pollock. Today is April 15th. Happy Jack and Robinson Day. And yes, we are going to talk about baseball. We got to talk about Mr. Grant Holmes. Holmes improvement. Because yes, we finally got the start we were waiting for. Well, okay, not quite the start we were waiting for. There's more on the way, hopefully, for Grant Holmes. But 7.2 innings, 300 runs, 2 hits, 2 walks, and 4 strikeouts. He almost made it through a full 8 as well. He got removed from the game. Then, of course, the 2 batters that were on, yeah, they both scored. But this was Grant Holmes throwing 94 pitches. I got a lot of things about Grant Holmes being not able to go deep into games because Atlanta, they're not going to let him do it. Or, oh man, he's not very good. Well, hold on. He faced the Dodgers and the Phillies before this. He threw over 100 pitches in his previous start. We knew that the Atlanta needed innings from this guy. They planned it out. They stretched him out last year. They had him throw 93 pitches in the spring. 5.2 innings was one of his last spring starts. We knew this was going to come, but it was just so unfortunate. He had a rain out in there too. His schedule got changed. All of this stuff. So we finally got Grant Holmes, and it was pretty great. It's not the Grant Holmes we want, though. What we want, really, is one who's able to get swing strikes in both his slider and his curveball. And he's not quite there. There is a new cutter, though, and that cutter is so welcome because his four-seamer has been known as his worst pitch, and he's been throwing it kind of hard and actually pretty effectively in these 3 starts. But the slider and the curveball should be the ones leading the charge. And we want to keep batters off that fastball. How do you do that? You throw a cutter to lefties. It's that easy. And he's doing it. It's great. You should hold on to Grant Holmes. You will get more whiffs. We have more movement, more drop on both the slider and curve. It's not like those are worse pitches this year. They are adding 2 to 3 inches of drop. This is going to be good. All right? Let's just kind of forget about the whole Grant Holmes thing. I had him at like 49, I want to say, on the list yesterday. If you don't know that, I do the top 100, of course, every Monday. You got to go check it out. It's everything. It's why we call it Pitcher List. All right. I have him there. It stays because this is kind of what I expected. Sonny Gray, he's looking good. 7 innings, 0 runs. Sweeper had a 4% CSW. What? But everything else was good. And that's kind of the way of Sonny Gray. He has a cutter. He's got a 4-seamer sinker and curve and blah, blah, blah. He has all these different weapons. He generally finds something that works. 91-mile-per-hour fastballs are not quite what we want when we say like 92. Whatever. I'm just going to accept that and he'll be fine. He's not going to be an ace, though. Remember last year when he had a 30% K rate? And we knew that wasn't right because the put-away rate was so good on the sweeper and absurd. I've never seen a 40% put-away rate on a sinker. Okay? Never seen that before. He had it last year backdoor against right-handers. Not going to happen again. So, yeah, get that out of your head. But treat him like a K per inning Holly, and you're fine. That's like a 3.5 ERA, 1.15 whip, 23% K rate. You're going to be happy with that throughout the year. You have Tarek Skubal, ace is going to ace. Remember those first 2 starts and how bad those were? Yeah, he's fine, isn't he? Haha. Okay, cool. Number 1 SP. Dustin May. Oh, yes! So I had a couple sleepers that I really leaned into in the preseason. One was Sawyer Gipson-Long, which I'm still in on. If you have an IL spot, you should be adding Sawyer Gipson-Long. I'm just telling you right now, you want to do it. But the other one was Dustin May, and this was before it was confirmed that he was the 5th man in the rotation. Gonsolin was involved, Bobby Miller, etc. But it was very clear to me, at least, that Dustin May should have that rotation spot. Bobby Miller was so bad last year, and Tony Gonsolin just isn't as good as Dustin May. So I saw him at like 400, 500 ADP earlier on in January or so. And then as we've gotten close to the season, everyone started realizing, oh, right, he has a rotation spot and he's Dustin May. And this is the one time I'm going to do a victory lap on April 15th. I don't care what Dustin May does the rest of the year. I've already had success with this because as one of your last draft picks, to get a guy that has been as productive as Dustin May has this early is a positive. And you do not have many of the guys you draft after round 14 by June 1st, July 1st in the year, okay? So Dustin May took down Rocky Road. Awesome. 6 innings pitched, 1 earned run, 3 hits, 0 walks, 7 Ks. Now that you have him on your team, of course, what do? Well, you keep holding on. We got some more whiffs. 14 whiffs here. 7 over 14 on the sweeper. Nice to see that. Oh, that's really exciting. But you want more here. Actually, I don't know if 714 was on that one. I think I'm confusing it with another pitcher. However, he's obviously cooking right now. You're rolling with it. Dustin May, you are hard to hit And I wish you could just face Rocky Road every single time. Paul Skeens, ace is going to ace 6 innings and 6 Ks. I just want to say the splinker, which, by the way, you guys are watching on YouTube right now because you're awesome and you do smart things. The splinker, there's this great tweet. Lance Brzezowski, one of my good friends in the industry. I love Lance because he's able to get information and talk about the game exactly as I want with regards to pitching. And he has 2 grips for Joe Boyle's splinker on the internet. So go check it out. I tweeted about it because I quote tweeted saying, hold on a second. That grip is a Fosh ball. And I actually threw a Fosh ball in college. Now, it's slightly different to make it more of a 1-seam than a 2-seam. But I'll show you on the stream right now on YouTube. So you take a 2-seamer, you go straight down the rails with your index finger and your middle finger. And what I was told is you spread them out, kind of like you're doing a split. But if you notice, I'm not quite into the webbing of my fingers right now, right? I still have it more in the back of my fingers, but not quite against my palm like this, right? I'm not all the way gripped back. So what you do for a Fosh is you essentially go up on it and you make that split, but not fully committed to one. Now, what the splinker does is it takes that one and it twists it just a little so that you are embracing the one seam as opposed to kind of going over both. So essentially you have the index finger on the right side of the seam, so the inside of that left seam, and then you have your middle finger on the right side of the right seam, on the outside of it. And that's kind of what a Fosh ball is. So it's like a split almost. It's a wider 2-seamer grip, so you are getting a little bit of that baseball wedged between your fingers, but it's not all the way back into your hand like you might some other palm balls or circle changes, for example. It's still a little bit looser, and that's what keeps up the velocity of it. The further back you push the ball from the tips of your fingers of a 4-seamer or a 2-seamer into the bottom of your hands or your fingers, the lower velocity, the more cut of the spin you'll get. Really just lower velocity. Just think about it that way, less of cutting spin. Okay, so the Fosh ball is kind of in between, and that's what really the splinker is. And it's pretty funny that like, oh, cool, we have the same thing by a different name. And by the way, I love the Fosh ball. I threw it in college. It was great. I hate throwing changeups with my ring finger. I don't want to do that. Oh, I'm a huge fan of this. This is awesome. Okay, so it just makes me happier to really understand that the splinker never quite made sense to me, and now it just all of a sudden it just like showed me the light. You know, I was like, oh, duh, like a bell rang in my head. I'm like, oh, of course. You have Shane Baz. Let's continue here. Shane Baz against the Red Sox. He's certainly looking good, isn't he? You have 6 innings of 1 earned run, 2 hits, 0 walks, and 11 strikeouts. I do want to note that the Red Sox have created some really good pitching lines for some guys. Kevin Gossman, Easton Lucas, both dominated with fastballs upstairs, and this is a better one from Shane Baz, 1.4 height adjusted VA. And guess what? Not 95, not 96, not even 97. He's sitting 97, 98 on that 4-seamer. Shane Baz is at 80% strikes. That's over a tick and a half higher than last year now. Changeup also went 6 for 20 whiffs. Yeah, he's pretty dang good. The curveball is that number 2 that you really want it to be. The slider isn't, but honestly, you don't need it. Just throw that 4-seamer upstairs with that flat attack angle at 97, 98. Now we have much closer to the fastball that we saw before. It doesn't have the same vert because it's sticky stuff. But, yeah, I should have had Baz earlier in the higher up in the list. And by the way, actually, I put a promo code in the list yesterday that was 15% off PL Pro and raise Baz, you coward, all in caps. Because I knew that I was going to have Baz too low, but I just needed him to do another start. Okay, guys? That's all it was. So I would probably have him 1 spot above Pepio on the list. Just think about that right now. It's in the cherry bomb tier of Freddie Peralta as well. That's just how good he is right now. Yes, higher than Aaron Nola and Luis Castillo. You have Jameson Taillon against the Padres, 5.1 innings of 2 earned runs, 3 hits, 1 walk, and 4 strikeouts. Sweeper was really good again. And we've actually seen this from Jameson Taillon before. When he has his sweeper working against right-handers and really can go 42% usage against righties with that pitch, then you're cool. And against lefties, he's just trying to figure out a way to get them out. Maybe some cutters here, some curveballs backdoor, some changeups, maybe some fastballs here and there. He's just trying not to get hit too hard. And he did well here. I don't think I'm going to start him against the Snakes, but at least, you know, that's going well for Taillon at the moment, especially in your quality start leagues. Also, for those who are debating, I'm seeing this in the chat right now, between, this is from Crow Hop. And by the way, I stream every single morning, 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. Eastern Time at playback.tv/pitcherlist. It's the same place that we watch baseball together as a community. It is unbelievable. If you're not doing it, I don't know what's wrong with y'all. You have to be joining us in the morning when we do this. It's the best. It's anytime baseball's on, we're just watching the game as a community. And oftentimes I'm popping on or other people are popping on. Justin Mason's been there, Jason Collette, Lance Brzezowski's been on there, Enos Saris has been on there. I mean, Eric Samolsky, so many people just pop in and you get to hang out with them. And then you can come on stage too. It's so cool. Long story short, I see a question here from Crow Hop. It says Sawyer Gipson-Long or Kyle Bradish as an IL spot. And I'm going to say right now it's Sawyer Gipson-Long because I think he's going to be back sooner. He's already thrown a bullpen. He would actually be back now if not for a hip injury that he had that delayed his rehab. So to me, that kind of says, okay, cool, you are rested. You should be more, at least your arm is. Yeah, I know the hip thing is a separate thing. But it does say to me, like, yeah, you are going to be back on the field sooner. I would go for that. I don't feel that too many people are stashing Bradish because we really don't have a good timeline at the moment for Kyle Bradish. We're going to talk about the other guys here. Joe Ryan, Clay Holmes, Carlos Carrasco, Dylan Cease, etc. Landon Roop. Oh my gosh, you got a golden goal? Is this real? We'll talk about that after this break. Joe Ryan, 5 innings, 1 earned run, 3 hits, 2 walks, 8 Ks. Great. And there was the sweeper, 7 over 14 whiffs. Wrong guy, Nick, before. It was Joe Ryan. That's really good to see. Because Joe Ryan has his 92, 93 mile per hour fastball, not 94. He's sending it upstairs. He's dominating with it. That's great. But he needs help. It really just needs something else there. And the splitter, oh my gosh. Okay, is it like the sacrificial lamb? Only one of them can work well because he only had 5 innings despite throwing 101 pitches. Why? That splitter at 28% strike rate. Oh my gosh. When your strike rate is lower than what we want your strikeout rate to be, that's really bad. So that's what he's throwing against lefties. Righty's got the sweeper. Hopefully both can work. Hopefully there's maybe something else he can throw against lefties. I don't know. Joe Ryan, we still love you. And the fact that your fastball is that good is what creates that high floor that makes you an ace. You have Clay Holmes, 5 innings, 1 earned run, 2 hits, 2 walks, and 8 strikeouts. He had a slider and cutter that just could not find the zone. 6 over 19 strikes between them. That's less than 33% combined. Oh boy. His sinker and changeup were just like, okay, let's get this done, you know. They're the ones chopping the X, getting all the strikes and outs as they possibly can because the slider and cutter are just, they're just in the corner like, I can't lift that axe, buddy. I'm so sorry. I'm looking forward to that start where Clay Holmes doesn't lose his command as the game goes on and has all these pitches working. Maybe in due time, we'll find out. But for right now, we just keep holding Holmes and just hope he's not really that hipster that I'm labeling him as because it's frustrating. You want to see him actually like put it together and feel really good about this. And this is a great start. Don't get me wrong. But you know, if you watch this especially, you're like, is he actually going to be able to do this consistently? I don't know. Carlos Carrasco, I got to say, gets a gold star. He finally did the thing, which is getting us a cheap win over 5 innings. Against the Royals, got the win, 5 innings, 1 earned run, 1 hit, 2 walks, 4 Ks. Awesome. Thank you, Koufax, just like giving us that one game. That's great. If you don't know that, Koufax is our Lord of the BABIP. So thank you, Carrasco, for that cheap win. Dylan Cease, this is so funny to me. Yes, he had that horrible start last time. We know. And the whole thing is like Pitching Ninja had this graphic of all the 6 pitches that Dylan Cease throws, the 6 grips. And I joked and I said, well, what about the cutter? Because none of them was the cutter. I actually got like a really aggressive tweet back. I don't know. It was kind of funny. The guy being like, how do you expect him? He's got to have something secret. What do you like work for a team or something? I'm like, what? No, I just want Dylan Cease to throw a cutter. Dang it. And despite all of those pitches, he just needs to figure out what to do against lefties because once again, he was very wild against lefties. He couldn't command well. It was donut command of down the middle or outside the zone. And through 1 changeup, 3. 1 was down the middle, and then the other 2 were just not even in our strike zone plots because they were just so bad. If you only had a cutter to throw against lefties for strikes, it would all be better. Really good against righties, though. I mean, he just destroys righties. That's the thing about Dylan Cease. He's just so good against righties that we say, fine, deal with this. You'll be okay. You're so good against them. Antonio Sensatella against the Dodgers. 4.1 innings of 4 runs, 10 base runners, 1 strikeout. Why am I still talking about this? How am I supposed to butter my bread with this? With Seth Lugo against the Yankees, it was 6.2 innings of 4 runs, 7 hits, 2 walks, 4 Ks, 4 of those 7 hits were solo shots. That was all the damage. And props to Lugo to go into the 7th. He didn't allow those in the 7th. This wasn't a careful Icarus. It was, I think, 1 inning of 3 solo shots, by the way, if I remember correctly. It's just how it goes sometimes. 3 in the 5th for Lugo there. I was really in on this. Actually, I thought that Lugo would be able to get through this. And honestly, he almost did. Those stupid solo shots. Like, fine. Taiwan Walker against the Giants. I saw that transaction trends were on Yahoo. It was like the most added versus dropped or something like that for Taiwan Walker. I was like, guys, what are you doing? This is Taiwan Walker. I know it's the Giants. And like, honestly, not as bad as it could have been. 5 innings, 4 earned runs, 6 hits, 1 walk, and 5 strikeouts. But no, do not do this. We got to talk about Landon Roop, though. Against the Phillies on the other side of this, I was gung-ho. I was like, all right, I think that Landon Roop is too filthy. He gets too many strikeouts. He is a side-winding right-hander who gets righties out really effectively with 2 pitches, a sinker that goes inside to them, a big curveball, and that curveball works against both lefties and righties. And once we see more lefties, we'll see more of those changeups and cutters, and he'll get more comfortable with that. There's also a four-seamer that actually has good attack angle and everything. It's pretty fun when he executes that. I think the whole package does speak to like a Michael King type. It's just about, okay, can you get the command of Michael King? There's also a little bit of Aaron Nola in that curve because it's such a big 78-mile-per-hour curve, and guys just can't touch it. And so what happened against the Phillies with Landon Roop? 5 innings, 4 earned runs, 6 hits, 3 walks, 8 Ks, got the win. It unraveled a little as it went on, but 20 whiffs for 38% CSW. He actually set the record for most curveball whiffs by a starter in Giants history with 15 of them. 15 over 56 whiffs. Yeah, 55% curveball usage for Landon Roop as he threw 101 pitches for 5 innings. So efficiency is the thing here, right? It's not from the curveball, 43% CSW. The sinker had a sub 60% strike rate. Oh, that's supposed to be the real foundation here. You're sure you have an amazing curve, but like you're supposed to throw those sinkers inside of righties. That should be consistent. And maybe against the lefties, not so much. But we're so close. 50% strikes on the changeup and cutter. We had moments. They just weren't reliable. You're almost there. And the thing is, that curve is so filthy. Really, I got all what is the word I'm looking for? I was just getting all the nostalgia of Nola's curveball, right? It was just the imagery passing through. Like, whoa, this is Nola's curveball I'm seeing right now in like Philadelphia's stadium, right? In Citizens Bank Park. It was just like, this is Nola. So yeah, get on Landon Roop. It's so funny to me because I remember also last year I did the craft with Eno, and we were talking about sleepers for 2025, and this was like middle of 2024. Like, who are the guys that actually kind of surprising you right now who might actually make an impact that no one cares about right now? And Eno brought up Landon Roop. I was like, really? Because I kind of saw him as a Brady Singer type. I was like, all right, you have a curveball that kind of acts as a slider, and then you have a sinker, but you don't really have anything as lefties. And he's like, well, the stuff's too good on that curveball, and I think he's going to figure things out for the lefties and everything like that. I was like, yeah, okay, whatever. And then we come into the preseason this year. I'm like, man, Landon Roop is actually looking way different. It's really cool. He goes, oh, well, I ran our Stuff Plus models, and they hate him more now. So I don't know if I'm in. But no, he was back in. Don't worry. And it's just kind of funny to me how that swings around. But yeah, get Roop. Just go and get Roop. Okay, cool. Brad Lord, no. Pitches for the Nationals, not worth your time. Cool, not worth our time now. T-Lex is for the Tigers. You're going to see a very big roundup here. It's just me talking about YM lock versus XM lock. And if you don't know what that is, just go to our player pages and tell me if I have them labeled correctly. Okay? You'll see this for location charts. So for location and repertoire, go to the tooltips for those. And you argue with me if you feel that YM lock is correct and XM lock is correct, or should I flip them? Because I've had a lot of conversations about it. Anyway, TLX, 4 runs, 4 hits. Sorry, 4 runs, 6 hits, 3 walks, 2 Ks, and 4 innings. You shouldn't be touching TLX. Framber Valdez had a terrible start. 4 innings of 6 runs, 10 hits, 1 walk, 3 Ks. But you're just going to forget about it, right? And even if he has like a bad 3 months, he's just going to have a miraculous second half that's going to save his season, right? He better. Easton Lucas against Atlanta, 5 innings, 8 runs, 6 hits, 4 walks, 3 Ks, womp womp. It was 94 with 17 inches of vert from the left side. But he actually didn't command it as well as he did against the Red Sox, and the rest of his arsenal, oh my gosh, not good. Especially against lefties, he just could not deal with them. Do not go for Easton Lucas right now. And 2 first names anyway, should have realized that. And last but not least, actually probably least, is Tanner Houck. Oh gosh. If you've been listening to this podcast and following my roundups, I have been very cautious about Tanner Houck and not really leaning into him. I think I had him on the list at like 85 or 90 or so, saying you don't need to hold on to Tanner Houck. He's lost a horizontal bend on his slider. He doesn't have a splitter. I don't think this is a good state for him. However, this was the Rays, and I thought, you know what? I think I put him in questionable start. I was like, fine. Maybe I even did probable. I could see that because he had gotten away with it, and the hope was that he would get better with this. I think I put him in questionable. Regardless, it was so bad. 2.1 innings of 11 runs, 10 hits, 2 walks, and 1 strikeout. And if you want to rage quit it, yeah, rage quit it. Get out of here. Rage drop the guy. Like, it's not worth it, guys. So don't do it. I'm so sorry, Tanner Houck. Maybe you get removed when we have Cutter Crawford and Brian Bayo and Lucas Giolito come back. I don't know. We'll see. Game of the day, Justin Verlander versus Jesus Luzardo. That's going to be really fun because Luzardo is cooking and Justin Verlander had 20 whiffs last time with harder sliders and four-seamers, and he looks really good right now. All right, that is it for today. Thank you all so much for listening to this podcast and giving us a rating and review on iTunes, whether it's the Plus Pitch podcast feed or the main feed. Leave us 5 stars if you can, if you like it. 4 if you don't, tell me why. But leave a review if you can. I can't express enough how helpful those reviews are just for getting sponsorships for us. As we're just trying to really make the best baseball website there is. If you guys don't know, I do not make a full-time salary at Pitcher List. I am the CEO. I have 100% of the company, and I don't give myself that full-time salary because all I'm trying to do is make the product that we all want. I'm constantly reinvesting into it. And every time that you guys support us when it comes to subscriptions, anytime you listen to an ad or you turn off your ad blocker, all that kind of stuff, all it's doing is giving money back to Pitcher List for us to invest in our pro dashboard. That is a place that that we're developing, that you'd be able to manage your fantasy teams and have all the StatCast data and all the apps in one place that you'd want. We want to create a mobile app that is actually just a good one dedicated for baseball that allows you to integrate with your fantasy teams, give you notifications of important things as they come up. There are a lot of things we want to do. We eventually want to create our own fantasy platform. We want to, I've literally made a mobile baseball game that I think would be the most fun thing in the world. And I've designed most of it already. So there's 20 million things we want to do, guys. And I can't express enough your support for Pitcher List, whether it's lifetime or to just PL Plus monthly, or leaving that rating review on iTunes, subscribing to our YouTube so that we can get to 10,000. All of those little things are going straight into getting more things for you. So we're not like those big time places like CBS, who it's just going to go up and up to the people that you never hear from. It's going to go straight to the things that you want. So thank you so much for your support. But that is it for today's podcast. That is it. My name is Nick Pollock, and may your BABIPs be low and your strikeouts high.